Hope you're having a good Wednesday. Let me turn on the music. Okay, just felt like it was a bit too loud. Okay, let me do my puzzles and then I'll move on to the tournament recap. Hi, nice to see you. Where's my puzzle rush? Okay, it's ready. Hi, Michael. Hello, everyone. Is it just me or is this board a little wonky? Looks weird. I didn't change anything about it. I don't know why it's like that, but okay. Looks a bit different than usual. But anyways. Yeah, it doesn't look like it usually does. Ulan, hello! Thank you so much for the 5 gifteds! Wow! Hi, Ulan. Thank you so much. Thank you. With a gigantified hi. Hello. Thank you. Wow, thank you so much. I literally just started the stream. Thank you. Ulan, thank you for so much support. Whew. Wow, thank you. How is everybody doing today? Wonky board? I thought I fixed it. It's like for the puzzles. Hello, Philemon. Hello to everybody. Hi, Alpoca. Hope you're all doing well. It's a Wednesday, not really my typical time, but I recorded a chess-based lesson this morning and thought I would do like a chatting stream today, plus we can go over some of the most interesting tournament games that I've had. Not all of them were interesting, but some were from the classical tournament I played a few days ago. I'm doing good. It's so hot here for some reason. I think it's just the summer and my house. Whew. But anyway, I'll ask to turn on the AC. I want to turn. 1 second. I don't think anybody will see it, but. Remember when I asked my brother to bring me the hydrate, and then I got ghosted, and then he actually did. So this time, we're verifying if my grandma ghosts me or not. How did I do in the tournament? The score was 3.5 out of 5. It went okay. Hi, Gazmag. Okay, let me do a very quick 3 minutes because I'm already on my Puzzle Rush screen. That doesn't look like it's the one. How do we escape from that, I wonder? Okay. Oof. It was bishop f1, I think. I wonder what to do for this one too. Okay, that was not it. There's too many things to calculate. I don't like that. Hopefully that's correct. That would have been a really good bullet trick. What he just did there. Okay. I have a younger or older? I have a younger brother. He's 13. Thank you, Wilco Chess, for the follow. Hi, Pedro. Good afternoon from Portugal. Nice. Hi, Diazjin. Nice to see all of you. I feel like, even though I streamed yesterday, I still feel like I haven't chatted properly, you know what I mean? I feel like it was Title Tuesday, so I was kind of focused on the games. And then I played Bullet, so I feel like I haven't properly talked in a very long time. Okay, let me switch on to the playing board. And I'm gonna try to bring Timka and turn on the air conditioning because it's too hot for me here. Yeah, I mean, I would. Okay, 1 second. I'll be back. A bit not smooth, but we made it. Say hello. Timka, Gigantified Timka. I wonder if he sees himself. That's so nice, Ulan. Actually, Timka Dance, I think, is the most used emote. I wonder if he sees himself. You see it? It's you. This is you. He's just relaxing. Animated emotes are fun. Yeah, and I mean, I was surprised actually. I haven't made emotes. Like I haven't updated any emotes in a very long time, but they're actually not that difficult to like animate some of them because Twitch like does it. So like this was just a Timka picture and it animated it to dance. So I can definitely do more of that. Dogs don't pass self-recognition tests. Yeah, I've heard about that before, that they don't actually understand what they look like. But he is looking at himself right now. Have I lost the paper with the ideas? No, it's still laying. I still have that paper on. I have it right here. It's actually here. I have the paper. It's just actually making them that I haven't done. So, thank you, Usama, for the follow. And the nice dancing emote. No, I mean, I should honestly have my own, like, dancing emote. I honestly should, but I don't think I've ever danced on stream. So, it would be cool. You log on and see a human dog with a human hand. Yeah. Here he is. But actually I used to do dance for a very long time. Just not like that. Hi Satan. Hi Oliver. Okay, sounds good. Do I play viewers? Sometimes. Sometimes, but today I was thinking of I was thinking of doing a quick tournament recap. And after that we'll see how long that takes, depending on how long that takes. He looks really dead. Just laying down, sleeping. He's hot, I think, because he has a lot of fur, so I think he's hot. Just like, I mean, I turned on the AC, maybe I just didn't turn it on enough. Who knows? And now I have a bunch of his hair all over me. Which tournament? A classical tournament I played a few days ago. Okay. A lot less fur compared to other breeds. I mean, yes, that is definitely true. Okay, wait, let me just make sure you guys see him. Because I don't want him to be out of frame. Wait, Ulan, this is nice. Wait, this is the dance? Oh, that's so cute. That's so cute. This is the examples for a dance emote. I like it. I like them. Should I add that to the list? I mean, I don't think I just have any footage of me dancing though. Do I have any footage of me dancing? I don't think so. Oh my god. There's so many. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so animated emotes, I mean, sure. I mean, it can go on the list, but the problem with my to-do list is that I always add things to it, and whatever is, like, medium priority just never, you know, I just never get to it, because there's always something new. Me dancing to techno? I vibe to techno. Hi, Oli. But I love the dance emotes. Also, there's Timka's. I feel like there's Timka's hair in my mouth. His hair is everywhere. But I don't mind. It's my child, so I don't care. He can shed all he wants. I like how it looks like there's a party in the chat, and I like that. This is the most party hype chats I've seen. I only have yeah, I don't think I have any like that. We only have what is it? I mean, Andre Party and Timka Dance. I think those are the only two that qualify for this. For a party vibe. Party dance in chat while I focus on my games, but wait, I need to dance after the, you know, it needs to be after after a good moment, but yeah, exactly. Okay. Let me see if I can upload, if I can actually get something going on this board, because every time I start talking, the board just never gets touched. I guess I go with Classroom, and I'll import. Okay. Let's see if that works. Oh, okay. I think that worked. So, there's a few games. Do you guys want to see them in order? Do you guys want to see the games I won? Do you guys want to see what I lost? Do you guys want to see a draw? What's the consensus? Most interesting to least interesting, or just all briefly in order? My FIDE right now is like 2100 something, 2130 maybe. And I got my first title in 2016 when I was 12. And then my last title in 2019 when I was 15. Or turning 16, yeah. Hello, Shrufi. Hi, Strawberry. Hi, Planet. Least interesting to most interesting? Damn, okay. One more stream you'll miss? What do you mean? This stream you'll miss? Let's just do in the order played, I guess, because that makes the most sense. I cannot judge most to least interesting. Good morning, PMD. That is such a cute dog. That is so cute. I love the gigantified doggo. We have another doggo here, but he's just chilling. Thank you, Decode, for the follow. We haven't seen PMD in a long time. How much do you need to improve to become a title player? You're 1700? 1700 online? It's different for everybody, including like which title you want to get. But probably, I don't know, because I don't know, some countries have like National Master title, which I think is the most achievable for... I think National Master title is probably the most achievable for like club players, let's say. So, but not every country has that title, so I'm not sure. Opponent's rating? Yeah, I don't... Oops. 1 second. So, here they went by Canadian ratings, and I think this guy's rating was about 1900 Canadian, and mine is like 2300 Canadian. What doubled? Oh, your message was doubled. Hi, Justin. Nice to see you. But to answer, of course, like there's a lot of answers to that, the mask, but overall, I just think it's not about the title. Because if you focus in chess, like, you cannot really focus on results. If you focus too much on, like, getting to a certain rating or getting to a certain result, it kind of takes away the fun in the actual game. So I genuinely think it's of course it's good to have goals, and it's good to have, like, both long-term and short-term goals, but still, like, work on what you like, work on your weaknesses as well, but I don't think there is a one-size-fits-all. It's mostly, like, finding the right guidance, playing a lot of tournaments, analyzing your mistakes, and then improving from those mistakes. And, I mean, that's just, it's very generic advice because everybody's situation is very unique. Depends on how long you can play. Like, for how often you can play, how much time and resources you have to invest into it. Svetlana is a Russian name. You're right, Michael. And Ulan is also right. Mine is spelled with an I, but basically it's the same name. It's the exact same name, but just one is in Russian and one is in Ukrainian. The one in my passport is with an I because I was born in Ukraine. Back to work. Bye, PMD. It was nice to see you for a brief while. So basically it's the same name. It's the same name that you're thinking of, but just the two different versions of it. But maybe that's why the short version of it is still Sveta, so goes with an E. Never understood what NM is. Is it different in every country? So it doesn't sound very important. People can understand what it represents. I think it's actually a good title to have because, like I said, it's the most accessible to most club players and people who don't play in international tournaments, because FIDE titles, you kind of get them internationally. Very rarely that you would only get it from playing in a national tournament. So I actually think it's nice to have, at least for Canada. The standard is 2200 Canadian rating plus, damn, random zoom. Nice. What is going on? Can we unzoom, please? Can we please unzoom? Hello? Nice. Okay. I think it's nice, and you need 2200 Canadian rating plus 3 norms of you performing over, I guess, 2300. Or you can also get just 2300 outright. National rating, not international rating. Never have fun, you're just obsessed with chess. Wait, but if you're obsessed with it, then you definitely find it fun, or maybe it's just the adrenaline of winning. PMD, thank you so much for gifting to Shrophy. Thank you. That is nice. What was I? Oh yeah, I was gonna say, my story with NM title is actually kind of funny. So, yes, USA also has it. USA also has it, but I'm not sure if any other countries have it either. Yeah, Canada is also very special. We have women. What is the Zoom? What is the Zoom? We also have women. We also have women national master, which is pretty interesting. But the thing that happened with my NM title is that basically I went the route of just getting 2300 outright. I didn't really collect my norms or anything. So when I reached 2300 national rating, I kind of just thought that the title would just be given to me because I just thought that we don't have that many Canadians that actually have it, so maybe, like, you know, they make their check every once in a while. Whoa, we started a hype train. I like how, I feel like Twitch just does like random hype trains nowadays. Because it's not related, they just start. They just start. But thank you for starting it. I guess it was PMD's sub that started it, and Ulan's gigantified emotes. But nice, we're on level 1. That's cute. So basically, I thought I would just be given the NM title. Like, I don't know, the Federation would contact me at some point, and they're like, do you want the title? And then that just never happened. Because apparently you're supposed to claim it. But anyways, by that point I got my WIM title, so I didn't care. But, you know, that was a surprise to me that it's not just, you know, here you go, here's an email and your title, congrats. But also I was like 14, so I didn't understand what was going on. And I guess when you play chess as a child, you don't think of it that much. For NM, I'm not sure you have to pay. Like, I never... Like I said, this was so long ago that I don't remember. I don't know. I don't think you have to pay for the national title. For FIDE titles, yes, you have to pay for sure. Nobody will ever waste 5k to redeem camera zoom because it happens so often for free. That's true, Hopoka. It happens for free. Yeah, it is already a reward, Wisem. But anyways, I'm obviously happy with the current title and everything, and I never really looked for NM. I didn't even claim FM. Looking back, maybe I should have, but it's all good. It doesn't change much. Hello, Northern Down. Sveta 10, yeah. Not Sveta 10 today, because today we have my... Today we have my actual name and we're analyzing games. If we actually get to it, because I'm chatting like we have like nothing to do. Okay, and you guys asked for the ratings. Let me look up this guy's rating. Oops. That's... Oh, no, no, no. Don't leave. I almost left the classroom. This is confusing. Okay. Now we have the ratings. Okay, I got it. Hello. Just Pozu. It's 5 games total. Dog is in Dreamland, yeah. In my classroom. Yeah, I don't really teach much. It's kind of weird. I don't teach much nowadays. But chess-based lessons I do. I recorded one this morning. It's not this one. This one, I hope it's the link to the last one. Ah, dang it, it's not the last one. I have one even more latest than that, which was the Evans Gambit, which I thought was really, really fun to record. I liked it. But yeah, I'll switch up the command later. Don't try to wake up the dog. Am I too loud? Sorry. I'm too loud. That was a really random hype train, to be honest. I have no idea why it started. Oh, so I guess it did start by that sub, but it just starts so much later. That's interesting. Hype trains, I have not understood them lately. You love the Evans Gambit, you'll watch that? I really liked making that video. It was fun. And today, the topic that I did was also an opening. You guys can try to guess. I don't think you'll ever guess which opening I did. But it's I've covered so much over the last 5 years that I'm honestly like, it's tough for me to know what is still interesting to people and what isn't. But right now I'm on a bit of an opening lesson phase. Okay, so let's start with the first game. So this tournament I started as about, let me check which seed. I was seed number 9, which was really nice, like that's really good for my city. So there were 3 Grandmasters who played, there was 1 IM, 1 FM, oh no, actually 3 FMs, and a lot of other players. And it was really good field. But of course these tournaments are always tough to play because you get paired against so many kids or people who, let's say, they play only in club tournaments and then they have no Canadian rating. Or sorry, they have only Canadian rating and then their FIDE rating is so low and you're like, damn it, playing underrated kids all the time. But I've learned to not care too much about that at this point. Like, if I want to play, I'll play. If I don't want to play and I'm busy, like, then I don't play. So I don't mind the rating too much. Maybe I'll mind it when there's Olympiad selections. Okay, at that point I'll think about my rating a little bit more. But for now, I'm just chilling and hopefully... And usually when you play with a free mind, without thinking too much about the rating, you don't lose much of it. So this one, I was playing against a kid, I would say. I think he's young. And how many players total? In my section, 43. In the open section, 43. And in other sections, there were more than that. So, or I don't know if more than that, but there's other sections as well. So it's quite a big for my city. Do I know how to make the bishop at knight? Yeah. I haven't reviewed it in a long time, but I never had to because it has never happened to me. And if it does, I'll figure it out at the board. Rook lift, camera lift. Yeah. Well, I started as 9th. I'm not sure in which place I finished, but I can check them. Oh my god. So unprepared. I'll check which place I finished in, but I finished with 3.5 out of 5. Where's the final standings? It's always so hard to find things here. I finished in sharing 6th to 8th place. I'll show you guys the final standings. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. You know what? No, we're not gonna do that. It doesn't show up correctly, so I don't care. It's fine. I'll just remove this one. Okay, anyways. But 2 of the GMs finished first, and then there was a CM, and then an FM, and then another guy, CM, and then I shared 6 to 8 with a GM and FM and me, and the rest of the people had less points. But I didn't play any of the top guys, so my score is kind of like not the best considering I didn't play the GMs or anything. But it was still a good tournament. Anyways. This is such a long intro. I am so sorry. I'm just chatting nonstop. I prepared more for chess base than for us. You see how it is? I mean, for chess base, it's like a recorded video, and I need like analysis and everything. But with you guys, it's more free flowing. Hello, Sunny Guy. Thank you for the wishes. I'm doing good. I'm always doing good. Typically tournaments have 9 rounds. Yeah, so this is, thank you Super Carlu for the follow. Typically the tournaments in North America have 5 rounds because people work and they want basically they want basically to only host it during the weekend, so it's Friday night, Saturday 2 rounds, and Sunday 2 rounds. Yeah, exactly. It's only 5 rounds and it's not like it's not a long tournament. There's still prize money, there's still like it's just not for norms or anything. 90 minutes plus 30 seconds. Yeah, it's always pretty intense, I would say, to play 5 games back to back like that. But anyways, so my first game I played against a kid or somebody like a younger guy, and he was 1959 rated, and you know, when I come in with no prep, I think it's quite obvious what I'm gonna play. Maybe you guys on the stream won't guess it, because I play King's Indian Attack all the time. But when I have no prep, no problem. We just play London and then see. And that strategy has always worked out really well. And so he played the d5 e6 setup, and I played e3. He played bishop d6, and here the usual move is bishop to g3. That's the main line as far as I know. But I was, you know, I was chilling, and I played knight e5. Obviously, like, I've played this type of positions a lot already, and this is kind of an old line I used to play, because bishop g3 is kind of the main stuff, and there's more theory there. This is slightly worse, I guess. Like, I don't know. In my opinion, it was always slightly worse than the bishop g3 line, but I just thought to switch it up a little because I didn't want to go for the main lines. No, it's not the Kia. So it's a very typical plan in the London to place the knight there. Usually the reason why this line is not as good because this knight gets targeted very quickly, like c5, knight c6, queen c7, and that knight is basically not going to stay there. Knight d7, f6 as well. But you want to put it there anyways in the London. So it's like Jababa? No, Jababa would be with the knight on c3. Hi Reniboo. Then he went castle. I went bishop here. He went c5, c3. You know, if there's any position where I am the happiest, it's this. It's the London. I don't know why I love it so much, but it's just so calm. My London, yes. So I don't understand why people hate on the London, and whoever hates on the London, you can. That's why we have both London, yes London, and no London emotes. Hello. Oh, by the way, I made this clip. I don't know how to link a clip, but last stream I asked Timka if he likes the London. I asked Timka if he likes the London, and how do I share this stream? This clip. Not sure how to do it, but okay. Give me a second. But I was very betrayed by Timka recently. Thank you, Christaco and Triox, for the follow. Hello, Frank. Yeah, Timka is a London hater. What a smart boy. But anyways, I love it, and I'm just looking at the facts, and some of my best, like all of my best wins have been in the London, and I can't do anything about it. Maybe part of it has to do with like feeling comfortable as well, because once you've played a position so many times, I start like believing in myself and my calculations, and maybe that works out well as well. I like how I'm getting slowly I'm like how I'm slowly convincing people that this is fine. This is totally fine. Okay, so we went to London, and now I played bishop g3 with the idea to play f4. And f4 is on the board, so now this knight is supported by a lot of things, and I would say it's now is where sort of the middle game starts and both sides start to come up with their own plans. So typically what black can try to go for is either this queenside pawn pushes and trying to create weaknesses there, or he also, and he kind of did that in the game as well, or another idea is knight to d7. And the idea behind that is either f6 or f5. And usually f6, to kick out this knight and to force it to exchange for something. And that's what he plays, and that's a typical move to which I just developed. And here, to my surprise, he played f5. Thank you, Sid Stacks, for the follow. I was really expecting this, to be honest. And let me just... I don't like this one. Okay. I was really expecting f6, to which I had some interesting ideas with queen h5, and then provoking f5, but I was pretty happy that he played it right away, because now my queen is not on h5. Comparable to Stonewall? Huh. To be completely honest, I've never thought about it that way. And yeah, this is kind of a Stonewall pawn structure, and it's nice that the bishop is already out. Yeah, because typically you would bring it like that. Never thought of it that way, to be honest, but yes. So now I moved the bishop because obviously it's doing nothing here. It's better this way, plus creating some g4 ideas. My opponent took. I took back with a pawn. He played bishop here, and here is where I kind of evaluated which piece is better, and I think his bishop is much better than mine, so I took it. And now I was played queen e2 to kind of still keep my castling options open, but I was fairly sure that I was going to castle short at this point anyways. So he plays a6, and like I said, most of the time what black does in such cases is start attack on the queen side. So that's what he did, to which I replied castles. I always really wanted to make g4 work, but here there's queen h4 stuff to deal with, so we needed to castle first. Bishop d7, and I don't know how I gained patience, you know, in bullet I would full send some g4, but I didn't because it's classical, and I guess I can be patient sometimes. So I started preparing g4 for a very long time. Oops, Timka is not visible anymore. Okay, Timka is visible. He heard his name. He heard his name. Okay, so I play rook here with the idea to bring another rook and to start playing for g4. Now b5, rook here. I'll stop it at some critical moments to ask you guys questions as well. Only something for young players? I mean, why can it not be for everybody? I don't see why not. Now he pushes c4, and honestly, I believe this is the right plan. This is what black should try to go for. Basically, try to create a weakness like that, play queen a3, create something on this side of the board. But that's what he does. And basically, what do you guys think is the way to usually play against an attack like that on the queen side from the black side? a6 was a good practical move, asking white where you're gonna go with your king. Yeah, I thought so too. It's a useful move anyways. Ignore. Yeah, I ignore. Yeah, that's what I usually do. That's what I usually do. This is what you see me do in the King's Indian attack as well. And sometimes it backfires for sure. But most of the time, yeah, we're just gonna ignore that and go for our own attack with g4, which is what happened. Of course, black is not going to take because this looks pretty bad. I wouldn't say disastrous, but pretty bad already. So instead, he plays g6. And my question now is, how do you think, what do you think is the breakthrough plan in this position? It took me a long time to actually do that. H4 is a good idea. Hello, Cozy Joe. E4 in general. So E4, if it ever works, sure, but it actually never works without sacking a piece. If it worked without sacking a piece, then definitely, but it somehow doesn't. King H1? I don't think I played King H1 actually. But those are all good plans. Basically, what I went for is just a bunch of rook maneuverings, and in these situations, computers likes taking here personally, but the reason why I didn't do that is because of rook g2, king here, and then he sort of just plays rook g8 next turn, and like what now? King here, let's say rook g8, I put my other rook in, and then let's say he takes rook g8, and I just don't have much. So I think from a long-term perspective, this is not the best plan, and I'm kind of glad I didn't do that. So instead, I started preparing it with moves like rook g2, maybe put another rook here, put a queen somewhere nice, play h4, and then maybe think about taking. Of course, always keep the tension. I know that sometimes if something is definitely winning, then you would break it, but I like keeping it, because why wouldn't I? So he plays king here, which makes sense because every time I capture, he will definitely want to capture with this pawn and not this pawn. So now I made the knight join, played h4, just like we talked about, and already I think I'm the one kind of playing for the initiative. I did make some more waiting moves because I want to see, like, I want to reposition a bit, maybe, like, I want to think about basically where I want my pieces to be, because he doesn't have any threats. So I have all the time in the world. Maybe some of his threats include taking and playing queen to a3, but if that ever happens, then all of his king side is pretty weak and I can already start seeing some tactics there. So b takes c3, he did that, which I think was correct. And then he played queen here, so already I felt like this is kind of slow. Maybe black should, like, at least create some threats instead of going so passively. But it's tough to judge what exactly to do because you don't want to divert your pieces away from here, but also you don't want to be too passive. Anyone know what time controls for this match? It was 90 minutes plus 30 seconds. It was a long classical game. I did not see my position as winning, actually. That's my toxic trait, is that I never think that my position is good. Even if it's like really good, I still think something can mess up. I can definitely mess something up. It's not that trivial. Even if it's winning, it's not over until it's actually over. So the eval here, not that high. 0.3? 0.3, it's not that high. But practically, I think white is playing for all the breakthroughs. And then later, after the game, somebody told me that this opponent, even though he is sort of a younger kid, he is like the most solid person ever. Like, he will just play the position, he will maneuver it until the opponent gets bored to death. And that's actually what he tried to do with me here. I honestly like these type of opponents. I don't want people to force things, but this is like, it sometimes works out because people overextend. Then queen e8 is a slight mistake. I just maneuvered around for a bit, put the knight onto h3 to get it to f4 potentially. And I was just waiting for the right moment to break through. So first I played this to protect here just in case, and here just in case he goes anywhere. And here's where my whole maneuvering game starts. So I'll make a couple more moves and then I'll ask you guys. So I put my rooks there, put my knight there, and sort of at this point I started getting a bit confused. Like, it's very solid. If I ever take, then he can take back with the g-pawn, maybe sometimes even with the knight at this point, now that the knight got here. And basically, my question, because we started moving around, I was trying to see what he's doing. And my question is, what do you think, which plan do you think I came up with at the end? There's a few good plans, but that can be an instructional exercise for everybody. How would you break through in a position like that? Oh my god, so many different solutions, that's crazy. So, Triox basically read my mind because that's what I did. I put the queen on h6. Oh, using the open b file probably would take a bit too long. And running to the king to d2, honestly doable, but I felt like my king was pretty safe there too. But wow, see, it's like, it's such a close position. I love positions like that because you can just think of long-term plans without calculating what's happening on every single move. And those were all really cool long-term plans. It's a bit low. Oh, to free the H file for the future? Yeah, that makes sense. Computer likes moves like G5 as well. Oh, you talked to my opponents. Oh, okay, that's why. That's why. Because that was so quick. Because that was such a quick queen to h6. I thought it wasn't so obvious. But nice. So, yeah, that's exactly what happened. Isn't the long-term plan to win? I mean, yeah, but you don't play for a win. You just play to find the best move. Yeah, this bishop was unfortunate compared to this bishop. But anyway, so he was trying to hold on, and maybe that's the right strategy, like, because if he went all in somewhere here, then I would have checkmated faster. But sometimes this waiting strategy backfires too. So finally my queen came to h6, and after this, I played knight to g5, queen e8, and what is the move? This, I really want this to be educational and instructional, so really try to find it yourself. Or like the line, not the move, but the line. Hello Gokul, nice to see you. Grimoire, this is my level of overthinking. Saying something and then maybe not. This is exactly what I do. I like how he's just stretching. Isn't the queen feeling claustrophobic? I did double check that it doesn't get trapped, honestly. It looks a little sus, but it doesn't get trapped. It can in 2 moves, yes, but if anything my knight can always move away and it's okay. h5 was basically a suggestion by a lot of people, but maybe in fact rook f8 now with the idea of this, and basically, like, what do I do? If I move away the knight, then some g5 ideas and the queen is actually really sus. And if I take, then that's not quite the way I wanted to open it up. So h5, I would think, ruins some of the advantage. Looks more like a challenge position. What do you mean, like a challenge position? It is a real game. How did the queen get there? Like this. My knight was standing there for a while, and then I came up with I was looking for a breakthrough plan and came up with the queen going there. In fact, when the queen came there, I already kind of knew what I was going for. Like, before my queen even got here, I already planned the final tactic that actually happened in the game. And I guess Triox actually saw the game, so that's what happened. Okay, these were all really cool suggestions, and it's like, I always love to see how different people always think of such different ideas in the same position. But basically, G takes is good. Now he took back with the knight. I take back, I have to. And now takes back with the G pawn. So if takes back like this, then maybe nothing happens immediately, but this knight versus this bishop is basically over. Because I can put my knight here, attack this weakness forever, push e6 at the right moment, push h5 if I want. Like, it's basically positionally over for these two pieces. So instead takes here, and now is the tactic. I think this one you guys are gonna see. Timka's time is over. I was being so happy that he was staying with us for so long, but I guess not anymore. I'll go let him out. And you guys look for the tactic. I'm gonna see if I can open the window even more. Give me a second. It's already open, that's unfortunate. It's so hot in my room. The amazing thing is the queen came to h6. You still don't know what it does? Yeah, knight h7. Knight h7 is correct. And that was my entire plan with when my queen came to h6. That was exactly the plan, and I was so happy that it actually worked out. So, knight h7, I really like that sack. And the idea is that if they take like this, then I'm gonna, well, okay, I was thinking to just take here, but this is even simpler. So that works. And if, or just this, which is also over, but queen f6 is much better. I probably would have found queen f6 later. But I never thought he would take, so I spent all of my time calculating this. And the nice thing for white here is that even if the queen comes here, then knight g5, and that's how the game ended. Checkmate. And when you first look at this position, you're like, well, okay, the king is bad and probably white is winning. But what you don't realize is that it's actually just mate on the next move with knight f6, and there's just nothing to do to protect it. So he played this, and after this, he resigned. So I thought the queen h6 plan was actually pretty nice. And I liked that he was like such a maneuvering player and just gave me all the... King g8, yeah, I guess that was the way to prolong it. I just don't think it does much because of here. So no mate, but I guess we just get the queen instead. Uno reverse check, yeah, exactly. I thought that was a really nice discovered check by the end. Counter check, yeah, I don't think there's a name for it, but I guess discovered check. No, not even. I'm not sure what the name for it. Yeah, but I was pretty happy with this game. But definitely, you know, throughout this maneuvering phase, it looks pretty slow, but it actually took took quite a lot of energy for me to like set this whole thing up and figure out what actually works and what doesn't. So it looks fairly quick, but I was spending all my time, like basically my whole 90 minutes was gone. So it wasn't as quick to just shuffle around because I'm an overthinker and I have to make sure that there's nothing before I actually play a move. With fireworks? I guess you could call it that. That's true. I like the final discover check. Thank you, White Rabbit, for the follow. Okay, are we ready for the second one? The second one was not quite as spectacular. It was spectacular, just not on my end because I lost the next game. And I played against another streamer. You guys already guessed who it was on the last stream, but maybe for the new people you can try to guess who it was. If people haven't heard it before, let me know. It's a tournament in Canada. Interesting to maneuver for Queen H6. Yeah, I like that idea as well. All good guesses, all good guesses. It was a Canadian streamer and yes, it was the Chess Nerd. So let me find the game. So his name is Zachary and I was playing as Black. In the end, I could have won game 2. I don't think I could have won. I don't think I had like a winning idea, to be honest. But it was very complicated. It was actually a very interesting game. Obviously, I was not happy with... why do I have 2360? That is a bit incorrect. I don't know why it says that. And I don't know his rating, but it was like 21 something. Which is kind of low for him, because I guess he didn't play in Canada for a very long time. Yeah, it was very low for Canadian, but that's what I always say. Sometimes people's Canadian and their FIDE ratings don't really match up, which is fine. Yeah. But it was a cool game anyways. Spoiler. No, I don't think I genuinely don't think I could have won. So, could I prepare something? Prepare what? So, no, I'm pretty sure it was correct, Gur. Pretty sure it was correct. So, I didn't check the games in detail because I had other rounds to look at, so I didn't have time to really go through each of them, but I just know kind of the key moments and the key mistakes. So, I was playing with Black, and he played e4. And he told me that he prepped for everything. He was like, I prepped every single one of your openings, except the one that I played. So, the prep was nice. It didn't last too long, obviously, but I was just happy that he didn't predict it. So, for a few rounds I could, but for a few rounds I couldn't prepare. For this round I had some time, just not a lot of time. Which I think over-preparing isn't really worth it sometimes, because like you said, like you basically never know exactly what they'll play, so just having a general idea, but is good. KID? Well, I cannot play KID against e4. Oh, you meant kid. No, this is not a kid. He's a couple years older than me. Actually, after the tournament, we went with him and another guy to play table tennis, and that was, well, ping pong. I don't know how you guys call it, but it was fun. It's always nice. I feel like Canada is so like interesting in terms of like there's so many content creators specifically from Canada, even though we're not a chess country at all. But it's funny how a lot of the content creators are from Canada. Maybe it's not, maybe actually it's not that. What English words? Oh, yeah. My brain is so fried with chess that to me, KID is not kid. It's King's Indian Defense. It's King's Indian Defense, guys. This is, do you guys know this joke? This Reddit post, I'm pretty sure. There was this Reddit post about how somebody's like wife or girlfriend found a note of a guy that's, sorry for the zooms, found a note of a guy that says like kill the kid and a lot of move notations that she didn't understand, and she was like, what are these code words and which kid is he trying to kill? And turns out that the guy was trying to defeat the King's Indian Defense and was writing out chess notations, but it was very funny. I don't know if it was a real story or if it's just a Reddit joke, but yeah. Pretty sure it was like viral for a bit. I mean, it's unbeatable, S'mores. It's honestly, it's unbeatable. Can't tell you. London is not a city anymore? No, in my head it's not. I'm so sorry. It's not. The first thing I think about is the chess London. So anyways, I'm keeping the suspense for too long. No, it was not the King's Indian Defense. I played the Sicilian, and he expected the Sicilian, but he just didn't expect the type of Sicilian that I played. So you generally probably see me playing the Taimanov, or like something else, but I played d6, so this is something, this is just another type of Sicilian that I just don't have a lot of games in, but I kind of wanted to start getting more experience in it. So, no, it's not the Najdorf actually. It's the classical, or the Rouser. It has a couple of names, but it's knight f6, knight c6. So, I played this in a decisive game in my Canadian Women's Championship, when I wanted to take my opponent out of prep. And honestly, playing any Sicilian for the first time is really scary. I mostly play Sicilian. Yeah, Sicilian is like a very common opening for me, but just not the classical or the Rouser Sicilian. And honestly, it was scary for me to play it for the first time. But I have some like random experience in it, but it was definitely not my main opening and not something that you would prep for in his case. Rouser is not that popular. Yeah, I would say it's quite popular. Maybe not as popular as the Najdorf, but I would not call this unpopular. Yeah, I call it the classical Sicilian. So, yeah, so he played bishop to g5. This is the most testing line, and this is the main line. Oh, no, spoiler. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Okay, no one saw that. So, bishop g5, and I played bishop d7. Saw nothing? Exactly. Nobody saw anything. What am I covering? Classical games from a tournament. So, I played this move. Usual move is e6, but just the idea is to sometimes not play e6 and to go for a very quick rook here. So he plays queen d2 and he was basically out of prep, and I just knew some ideas. Obviously, I haven't looked at the positions as... I just know in general ideas, but memorizing every single line here would be a lot. So this is still the main line with queen to d2 because white tries to castle long and I try to not castle. And after takes queen a5, this is the main line to attack the bishop and to start getting some threats on around the king. And at this point, I was not expecting the move that he was gonna play. I was expecting either to take or to play f4. So f4 is the main line. And in this case, you can try to guess what the main move is for black. In all honesty, I am not sure I would have played it. I knew the move and I knew some ideas there, but it would have depended on my mood if I played it or not. But guess the main move for black now. It's all theory. It's all theory. Thank you, Lifo Professor, for the follow. Welcome. Rook c3, exactly. Rook c3 is the main move. Yeah, you guys got it. So this is theory, and it leads to some pretty interesting stuff. Basically, taking with the queen, which looks pretty natural, is actually not the best because this version is a bit worse. And this type of endgame is slightly better for black, I would say. I don't know the exact consensus on this one, but I would say slightly better for black. And you play with a knight versus a rook and a bad pawn structure. So black is pretty solid here. And if instead pawn takes, which looks a bit less natural, but it's a better alternative, then the game continues with something like e5 and I don't know if they take or they play queen b4. Yeah, they play queen b4. And the lines go like this, so white's pawn structure is slightly improved. But still, we get this business of exchange up for white, but slightly better pawn structure for black. Yeah, this is theory. You might have learned this line before. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, there's a lot of compensation even here, even when the pawns are not doubled. But all of that didn't happen because he didn't play f4. He played bishop to e3. He can also take on f6, to which you would take back, and then those lines are also pretty typical for the classical Sicilian. And that would have been interesting as well. You try to play some f5, or you try to play h5, bishop h6. Anyways, so he goes here attacking the pawn, and I played a6, and I was pretty sure I remembered this position somewhere in my files, because I remembered. You can try to guess the best move for white, and I remembered this during the game. The reason why I remembered this a6 move is because I remembered white's reply, and I mean, white's move is a bit crazy. Best move is a bit crazy here. It's not best by far, but I don't think somebody would play it if they didn't know if it was a computer move. I'm not gonna lie. You can try to guess white's best reply. No, king b1. King b1 is natural. Can you have my files? No. They're top secret. Queen b6? Queen b6 would make sense. I think this is the first question that nobody has guessed yet. Not e5, not a3. The move is queen a7. And I remembered that this is white's best move, and then I didn't remember what to do against it. Wonderful, right? Is this even a legal move? Yeah, it looks illegal. It looks illegal. Bishop c6 and the game goes on. I don't think it's that human, honestly. It doesn't look that great. Like, I don't see white's concept. But I guess computer does. I don't know what the queen is doing here. I guess it's just attacking my pawn. But yeah, that was just a funky move. He didn't play it, of course. He played f3, which makes much more sense. And at this point, I was sort of like... I didn't remember the exact move here, but I was considering whether I wanted to play g6 or not. And g6 turns out to be the best move. Unfortunately, I didn't play that, and I kind of regret it now. But the problem is that I played this classical Sicilian variation in that other decisive game for the Canadian Championship, and in that case, it was something similar. It was not exactly this position, but there were some similarities, and I played g6, and it ended up being bad in that case. And I overgeneralized too much, and I was like, I remember g6 was like the wrong place to put the bishop in that case, but in that case the knights were not traded just yet. And I was just like, I remembered that game, I remembered my mistakes from that game, and g6 was one of the mistakes. So I unfortunately didn't play it in this game. It would have been much better than what I did. So I kind of went for a bit of a barbaric plan, which was a bit worse than this, but I should have played g6 and bishop g7. And I think this is probably what was in my file. To just play it like that, and black doesn't have too many problems. So instead I went for e6, so that's kind of already giving white more of an edge, rather than developing the bishop here. Beginner move or a computer move? Yeah. Considered it? Yeah. So I played e6, and basically what happens in these positions is that white goes for a king-sided attack or central attack, and I go for a queen-side attack. And I went a bit too barbaric. I went b5. So it would have been better to play something like h5. I should have, you know, been back to my Taimanov mindset, because this is what I would do in a Taimanov, is to play h5 to prevent g4. But somehow that didn't cross my mind, and I just went straight for attacking, which is kind of not the way to go here. I'm having so many challenges. Where are all these challenges when I'm actually accepting challenges? Nobody challenges me in that case, but now there's so many challenges, but I'm not gonna play for now. Okay, so that's kind of a better way to go in such situations. And instead I just went straight for the attack, because in my mind I'm like, well, if I don't do it, then he's gonna do it. He's gonna play g4, h4. If I don't spend time doing this now, then I'll just have more trouble later. But sometimes, so now he's threatening g5 to move the knight away, and I played h6, and the idea is not to create an extra weakness, but so that after h4, which is what he ended up doing anyways, now g5 is not really as much of a threat, because my rook is attacking this, so it just kind of gets one extra tempo in. Not a big deal, but if you can gain a move, why not? Then I played bishop here. He played rook to g1, and we're basically getting our attacks on opposite sides of the board. Which side would you rather play for? White or black? In such situations. Y'all just hate my position. Everybody's saying white. None. Valid take. Yeah, no, this is correct. So basically white is quite a bit better. It's maybe not so simple from a human perspective, because you have a lot of tactics to deal with, but this is definitely white is taking over. Thank you, Felix, for the follow. White is taking over because his attacking moves come a bit faster. Thank you, Deepak, for the follow. Posture check. My posture is okay, but I'll sit up more straight. Now I don't need the Timka cam anymore, so I'll sit up more straight. In the last game, I inspired you to play the London? That is so good! Look at my impact. If I can inspire people to play the London, that's great. I mean, I hope that's my good contribution to chess. I hope that's not like a terrible contribution to chess. I love that. That is amazing. So, you guys are all right. White is better. Camera posture check. Yeah. Now I'm sitting up straight. You guys are right. I shouldn't sit. I was sitting down too much like this. So, there was a really, really, really crazy line that he thought was winning. And slouching is good for you? Since when? So basically, I'm trying to go for king side with this attack, and he's trying to go for this attack. I went b4. He played knight to e2, and I played. Wait, give me a second. Yeah, I played d5. So I'm trying to open up the bishop and target the center a little bit, and basically if he ever takes, then that's really not good because my knight comes to d5 and already I'm having some threats, and suddenly the game turns around to black's favor. So instead he plays e5. g5 is also possible. I calculated all of that as well, but e5 looked like a natural move to me. I played knight d7, and now essentially this pawn is under attack because bishop c5 is a huge threat to attack this pawn next. So f4 is almost like forced. And here, he thought that he saw a win for me. And it's a really, really crazy line. It doesn't work in reality, but when he showed it to me, we couldn't figure it out at the board. So try to find the interesting line that existed here for black. Objectively, it's not a good move, but I think practically it would have been a really cool try. He's often very optimistic too. I mean, you have to be. You can't be depressed when you're getting opposite side castling attacked. You have to like your position. I personally like positions for black because I play them for black my whole life, but I sometimes misjudge it as well. I think I'm fine when I'm really not fine. I think everybody has that in these type of positions, or a lot of people do. Probably good players don't have that, but I have it. Yes, so you guys are looking in the right direction. Basically, one of the main threats that exist in this position is bishop to c5, and that attacks the queen, but in this particular line, the queen just goes away. And, okay, trading this bishop is no big deal for white. But what he saw, and what some of you guys saw as well, is b3. I did not consider that move at all, so it just like completely slipped my mind, but it's such a cool try. And basically the idea is that bishop c5, queen d2, and his bishop is in trouble. If he takes back, then this rook hangs, and if he takes back like this, then the bishop hangs. So it's actually quite serious trouble if you think about it. So essentially, we didn't come up with the solution. I don't know if any of you know what is wrong with this. You can try to think of it yourself. But we didn't come up with a solution when we were analyzing the game afterwards. We were thinking of a takes b3, bishop c5, queen d3, because you don't want to play queen d2 there, bishop here, and then we analyzed c4, takes, bishop a4, and we concluded that this is exactly what black wants. In such a situation, the king is now open, you play some like rook b8, and I think black's like starting to get onto the offensive side. Yeah, like b3 is so subtle, like it's so nice. But what is even crazier is why it doesn't work in reality. So that's what happens if a takes b3, and I mean you don't have too many other choices because I'm threatening checkmate. But the actual solution is crazy. It's c takes b3 first of all, bishop c5, queen d3, bishop b5, and queen c2. And I think this is a really, really, really creative defense. What after castles? Well, then it doesn't hit the same. Then you, like... White is totally fine. And I gave up a pawn for nothing. I thought this was pretty amazing. And even though this defense exists, I still think I should have played b3 because finding this is really, really subtle. And I'm not sure he would have found it. We discussed it after the game, we both couldn't find this. We just concluded that b3 and we went into... We basically concluded that this is best for white and it's not that good for white. Like, with a more open king than before. But yeah, that was a crazy try. I definitely should have played that, but computer obviously says that white is better, if not even winning after this queen c2 idea instead. But I thought that moment was pretty insane, and it's moments like these that make me kind of really like chess, because, you know, if you don't play chess, you just wouldn't understand how beautiful that is. Because it's just, that pin is just so beautiful, is it not? That the fact that queen d2 doesn't work there. Yeah, I didn't see it. And yeah, but this was probably my favorite moment in the game. So I played something much worse. I didn't see too many great ideas. I thought my queen was a bit off there, so I played queen here to prevent f5. PMD, thank you so much for the bits. Is that a bit of poetry from me? What is poetry? Which poetry? Did I say something that rhymed and I didn't notice it? Maybe. In fact, the thing about poetry, I have a really strange relationship with poetry, because when I used to hate writing it, like I don't mind reading it, like it's nice when other people write it, but I used to hate writing it to the point where in my middle school, when we had a poetry unit, I asked my teacher, I was like, can I not do this unit? I cannot write poetry for the life of me. Give me like 1 or 2 essays, like I don't care. Give me double, triple, quadruple the work. I just don't want to write poems. Can we please not do this? And he did. He was like, yeah, I mean, sure. I don't care. But I was like, it was like, I don't know what was going on in my head, but I was like, no, I cannot do this. Like, I'm so bad. I cannot do this. And I do not want to do that unit. I wanted to avoid that unit at all costs. Just get me away from it. And nowadays, obviously, like, I don't write poetry in my free time, but the very few times that I've written poems, my like friends have been like, this is really good. Like, this is insane. But somehow I really hated it as a child. But yeah. But it's not like insane, like I don't think I'm good at it, but I'm just quick at it. Like I can compose something quite quickly. But yeah, even now I'm like, I wouldn't write it if I was forced to for an assignment. It's just, I can't. But anyways, what did I say? I said the chess was beautiful and people who don't play are missing out. I mean, I don't think people are missing out, but I just think it's something that only like a chess person can appreciate. 1 second, let me check. Somebody is trying to change my shift. I don't like when people try to do that. Yeah, okay, it's fine. Me poetry reading stream? I don't think I'm very good at reading it. I'm not very good at reading it. I think other people do it better. And I am a proponent of like, people should do what they're good at. Hence, I don't sing or do anything artistic on stream. Because people should do what they're good at. I mean, okay, very ironic for me playing chess. Very ironic. But I think people should just lean into their strengths. You don't get good if you don't do it a lot. That's true. But what I mean is, like, I think art is for everybody, but I'm personally not good at it. I'm not the most creative person ever, and I would rather leave it to the people who are good at it. I will leave the poetry to the people who are great at it. I will, like, leave singing to the people who are great at it, and I will just enjoy it. Like, why can I not enjoy it and do it myself, you know? Controlling my camera on stream? Yeah, I'm just making too many hands movements. My camera has a life of its own. You get so many witty alien gambit. That's true. It's been popular. No karaoke stream. Yeah, no. We had that phase when I was getting asked to do karaoke all the time, and then I guess people gave up. Did I win the tournament? No, I didn't. So this was probably my favorite moment. Anyways, instead I played queen here. Queen goes back to d2. And white is basically much better already. I obviously tried to do something. I tried to get my knight to e4, and this was actually a really good move by him to make sure my knight doesn't get there. And I was kind of upset. Like, at this point I started feeling like, oh, my position actually kind of sucks. Because my attack is just not fast enough and not as effective as his attack. So now I played a5, he played... Basically, he put all the pieces into their attacking positions, and now he strikes with f5. And the problem with this is bishop f4. And here, I mean, he can do a lot of moves, but g5 is one of them, and this is just over, basically. So that was unfortunate that f5 worked for him. What is that? Is it just me? How does it... What is that emote? Unspokeable Riz. How does it go up all the way? You did hack this chat, you did. No. I've just never seen that before. That's really cool. So yeah, anyways, I'm getting cooked here in the center and my king is in a lot of trouble. And obviously, what is the way to deal with it? I have no choice. I have to go for something myself. So I go for b3, and he took a long think to figure out what to do with all of his pieces, and I think he made, honestly, a good choice. So he took once and then played a3. I would have done the same. For white, I think it's the most solid option out of them. And now it's just, there's just not much to do because the king side is closed. There was not really any other way to open it, and in such situations, if your attack fails, then unfortunately you are cooked. So yeah, that's what happened. Always ignore the opponent's threats, that's true. I would pre-move b3, like there's nothing else I can do. But there's just no follow-up, which is unfortunate. So I played bishop d7 now to try to protect a little bit, and now he does another good move on the c file. Cowley, thank you for the follow. He plays g5, and I sort of got some hopes here. So I took on f5. Tonya Chess, thank you so much for the raid. Thank you for the raid. Welcome, everyone. Oh, thank you for the shout out. I was just about to do it. How was your stream? Have a nice stream. Thank you for the wishes, Sonia, and thank you for the raid. Welcome, all the raiders. Hello. I was just doing some hopefully instructive analysis of some OTB games, doing a quick tournament recap. So we're just talking about some game variations and chatting. Thank you once again. Welcome everybody. And thank you, Tonya, for the raid. So why can't we take the pawn on e5? Because, so, I mean, a move back we also couldn't do it because the queen gets trapped. Isn't that wild? Right in the middle of the board, but it gets trapped. So yeah, that's why I couldn't do it. So instead I played e takes f5, and he took on d5, and I honestly got a little bit hopeful here because I was like, okay, it's not the best, my king is not amazing, but I can maybe escape, there's no immediate attack, and maybe everything is okay. But you guys can try to find white's move. This is the move that I missed in my calculations, and it came as not a very good surprise. So this is a move I missed in my calculations. You can try to find it for white. While you guys think, let me just take a short break because I wanted to adjust the AC for a while. Let me be right back. Let me be right back. Okay, I'm back. Come on, nobody said a move? Y'all, you guys only guess. Why is everybody so scared to guess? Share stream? Yes, sorry, I'm back. Wild position. Oh, knight f3, nice. Knight f3, knight f4, okay. I gave up as soon as I said no karaoke. Bishop f7, okay, at least some suggestions. Speak Russian. Speak Russian, redeem. Thank you, Snow Goes Dark, for the follow. Могу немного поговорить по-русски, можете мне что-то спросить, я отвечу. Я еще пока никогда не делала русских стримов. Но когда-то могу попробовать. That was a mini Russian speech. I was saying that I don't do Russian streams often, but I can try at some point. I think Naroditsky does like a separate Russian stream, but I've never done one. And I think it's just that most of my like chat is not Russian, and it would feel weird for me to do it in Russian, I think. Like, I'm not ready for that just yet, but I can. It's my native language. Okay, so basically those were all good suggestions, and the only winning move for white here is knight f3. This is what I missed, and this is what is actually a winning move for white. One good thing about it is that it protects the h2 square. Another good thing about it is that it attacks the queen, and the best thing about it is that it protects this bishop, and it causes me to kind of lose a move, and white just really gets initiative after that. So that was really nice, and I have to give credit to him for finding all of that, and his next sequence was also really, really good. So now I play queen here, and now he plays queen d4, which I personally thought was good, and this was perhaps my last chance to get back into the game. I didn't find it. I played castles, which looked dangerous, but also I didn't see too much else. I didn't see too much else of what to do, but you can try to find one saving move that black still had in this position. Am I the tournament commentator who does? No, I mean, I like to do commentary, but I am not an official tournament commentator. This is just my own OTB tournament that I'm just talking about right now. But maybe you're confusing me with somebody else. But in general, I would love to do more commentary. I really, really enjoy it, and I would love to cover some events. Yeah, it's some people do think that I'm somebody else. It's all good. Sorry, I'm getting ads. Let me skip it. Okay, so what's the move? King f8 and prey. I like the spirit, but knight e6, yeah. Okay, so it is knight e6. That's basically the only move that keeps black in the game still. Rook h3. Rook h3 is interesting, but no. What are London buses like, Gokul? What are London buses like, I wonder? So, let's see. So knight e6 is correct. And what deterred me from knight e6, in fact, this was my rude and late. Why? But initially I thought this was a good idea, but the reason why I didn't play it is not bishop e6 actually. Bishop e6 is actually not it. So this I calculated, and this I thought that this is great because now he cannot, sure he can win a pawn, but this ending I thought was pretty good for me. But instead of that, I didn't play it because of this queen a4, and then king back, and then let's say, or I don't know, queen, maybe here as well, but let's say king back, and then I thought that this position was not that good. I'm like, I don't know how these pieces are working, I'm probably gonna lose an endgame with these two pawns. Beras, thank you for the follow. And so yeah, this is why I didn't play it, but looking back, of course, this was a much better version than what I played in the actual game. Okay, wait. Russian is Levy's native language? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, this I don't think I've heard him speak it much, but there's quite a few there's quite a few streamers who do speak Russian as their native language. I first thought I was the narrator of Chess. Oh yeah, I have chess-based DVDs if that's what you may be confusing with, but yeah. London buses. You wait for ages and then two come along at once? That's funny. That's funny. Are you saying commentary is like that? Maybe. Maybe. But usually, by the way, it's not like that now, at least. They're usually on time. Oh, okay. I was wondering. But I've never been to London myself. So didn't get the reference, but thank you for explaining. But yeah, the very few times that I have done commentary, it's been really nice, and I really liked it. In fact, it's so much less stressful than playing. It's a whole different thing. Like, you still get to fully immerse yourself into the game, except you're not the one making the decisions, which is kind of nice. But at the same time, it's stressful when you're commentating for a person that you really like. You care about them doing well. If you're commentating for like a friend, it's actually quite stressful. But yeah, it is nice. Okay, so this was the line I didn't go for, and we just get to a really beautiful finish. After that, I played castles, and since then I just didn't have any chances, unfortunately. He plays here, and just all of his pieces are coming in on the attack. G6, I tried to defend with the bishop, and he took. I have to take with the rook, there's just no other choice. And I was hoping that there's nothing here, but unfortunately there was. Knight to e5. Once again, I barely have like any pieces to move, because all of them, if I move one of them, there's something wrong. There's a really tactical problem with basically every move. So I just like, okay, let's just move the rook. And guys, find a nice finish by white now. This one I expect you all to calculate. Please find it. And this way we're gonna see who did their puzzle rush. Hey, yeah, that's true. Yep, okay, so you guys found it. Rook g7, exclam, maybe even double exclam, takes. And both queen g1 and rook g1 worked. I like what he did, because this is also the one that I saw. So he went here, I went away, and then he did this first, with the idea to play queen g1 now, to have both pieces on both sides. And, well, that was a really beautiful finish. And the end of the game. But yeah, that was nice, and it was a pretty, like, typical, I would say, Sicilian with opposite side castling and mutual attacks, but I think that my attack wasn't really that strong in this case, and usually when one attack fails on one side, then his attack was working out. But to be honest, he also carried it out really well. He put all his pieces on a good squares, which is why I think my last chance was I pretty much think my last chance was b3, or like to at least like turn it around. I think b3, not last chance, but b3 was kind of a turnaround chance, because that line was super complicated. Thank you, Michael Moxie, for the follow. I should have played solid. I mean, you never know how to play it. Like, I play based on the situation, and I thought the situation required it. But sometimes you get punished for it, and that's okay. Thank you, Kaser Soze, for the follow. He over preps? I mean, yeah, he told me that he prepped for everything except this line. Which is crazy. Like, prepping for everything I play is already, like, insane because I play, like, a million different things. But it was funny that he didn't expect this specific Sicilian. But yeah, I think it was a really nice game by him, a really nice finish as well, which, of course, I was sad to lose the game, especially when I didn't have too many, like, counterattack chances, but it is what it is. Some games are like that, you win some, you lose some, and I didn't really have time to be sad because I had the next round to play. Which I think is honestly a nice thing about chess tournaments, is that when the next round is so soon, you don't have time to be sad. So yeah, this was nice, and I honestly felt worse about my draw than I did about this game, because like sometimes your opponent plays well and it's okay. You just didn't play as well as them. But that draw, I was actually upset about it, because it really, at least for me, how I feel about a game really depends on how it went, not on the result. Because some losses are, you're like, okay, whatever. It seems to be meant to be that way. But some losses, you're like, nah, I really gave that away. Did I smash the table after the loss? No, I didn't. We analyzed the game together after this, and we just talked about some lines. No drama. Yeah, I think this was the first time I ever played against him. Because he played mostly in Europe and he played a lot there, but I mainly played in Canada for the last couple of years, and I didn't play even in that many Canadian tournaments in the last couple of years. But yeah, that was a nice game. So all credit to him for that. Nice Gigantified Magnus. But you guys even see my reactions to like my bullet losses. I don't have that much anger towards losing. Thank you. It's really all good. It was a good game. Did he know I'm a streamer? I mean, we didn't. I don't know if he knew. I think yes. I mean, if you do a quick search before the game, which I think he would have done to prep against me, I think he would have known. Plus, I think I probably rated him at some point. I don't know exactly. But I think every Canadian chess player just kind of knows each other, so it's not uncommon for, like, there's not like that many of us. Every Canadian player who has been in chess for at least a couple of years knows of each other. Yeah, we talked about that actually. Us Canadians are not swimming in title players, Sag. Yeah, that's true. Depends on the day, Usama. Classical games, I guess, too. Okay. I don't know if I'll have time for every single one of my games. Should I go over this one? Would you guys rather do more in-depth analysis or go through all of them briefly? So this was my next opponent. This is round 3. Bullet analysis of this game, so like just going through the moves. And brief for boring games. To be honest, I thought, maybe I'm biased, but I thought that game was really interesting against Zach. I think this one was really interesting as well, at least like until a certain point. This one is actually pretty brief. My 5th game was very short. This game was rather short. And then my draw was hella long. I'll tell you guys the story after this game. that 4th round game took the life out of me. And I finished with 10 minutes before the next round. So 10 minutes before the next round. It took that long. In Death for London, we have one more London waiting for us. One more. Don't worry. Not gonna leave you guys without the London. Okay, so next game, round 3. I was playing against I guess a kid. I don't know if he's a kid, but a younger player. I shouldn't call people kids. I feel like they wouldn't like it because they're not really that young. What's this guy's rating? I forget. I think it was 1 second. Let me update it. What did I do? Hello? Why am I zoomed in? Come on. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That was a bit too close. I need to have like a zoom emote, I swear. It happens way too often. Okay, anyways, so in this game, I was playing with white against... What did I do? I didn't do anything. What's a Sveta W? What's a... Okay, I am not familiar with Twitch slang. What is... Like, I understand what Monka S is, but what is Monka W? What is Monka W? Okay, so... In this one I was playing with white, and, well, I didn't really have time to prep. But that doesn't mean I play the London. You know, I switch it up sometimes, and... Oh, for intense moments? Sveta 10 means I'm magnified by a factor of 10. Ah, okay. Okay, I didn't know that. That's cool. That's nice Twitch lingo to know. So for this game, I didn't have time to prep. I didn't really know what this guy plays. I had a suspicion he was gonna play the Sicilian. But in such tournaments, when you have one round right after the other, you just go eat and then you just figure it out. And usually in those cases, I go for the London, which is what I did in my first round. But here, I just felt like different. Obviously, I don't play the London every game. And I played e4. And honestly, I think that's one of my best qualities as a chess player, is that I can play any position. Because I don't know theory in any of them, so I don't care. I don't care which position we're in. I don't know the theory anyways. So I play e4. And he plays Sicilian. I expected that. And my prep, my only prep, was move 2, which was c3. So this is the Alpine Sicilian, and this is actually something that I worked on for my next course. So it hasn't come out yet, but it's kind of the next course that is going to come out this year. It's kind of my fault that it hasn't come out yet. I still need to send in some files for that. But it's gonna be my next course on ChessBase, and I'm actually really excited for it. I'm already, you know, King's Indian Attack was kind of also my... If e6, he didn't play e6. Okay, and yeah, so that's gonna be the next course. I'll definitely like talk about it once it comes out a bit more. So yes, the knight d5 and knight f6 are the two main lines. And he played d5. So in these cases, I take on d5, queen takes on d5, and I played d4. So just taking the center right away. You don't consider Alapin the main variation? I think most Sicilian players know what to do against it. I mean, obviously I try to play openings that... I would prefer to get my opponent out of theory, but I don't expect that. Like, I expect him to know some stuff and know some main lines. But, to be honest, I just try to get my opponent out of their home prep, because I don't want them to play a line that they analyzed at home, which maybe, honestly, maybe it's even a fear of mine, because maybe that's why I play so many different lines. Because I don't want them to prep against me, I don't want them to expect what I'm about to do, and I just play really random stuff because of that. It's one of my strengths, also one of my weaknesses, because you play a lot, you don't know it too deeply, but when it works really well. So, yeah, and I do think that... Okay, so d4 is what I play. He plays knight f6, also a main line. I play knight f3. He plays knight c6. And generally in these lines, black goes for either bishop to g4 or e6 type of setups. Oh no, how will he ever guess my London or KID? I mean, you just can't. You know what's wild? You know what's wild is that nobody expects it. Nobody like, whenever I play, because you don't know exactly when I'm gonna play it and when I won't play it. But not... Generally people, like, if I talk to them after the game, they're like, oh, I had no idea you were gonna play the London. And I'm like, why not? Why wouldn't you? But I guess it's kinda... You don't know how people prep, and you don't know what kind of things they look at. Maybe they look at my Chess.com profile and they see King's Indian attack. I have no idea. But I also, to be completely honest, I also wouldn't know what I'm about to play. To be honest, because if I had to guess for myself, I also wouldn't be able to guess, because it's very dependent on the opponent, my mood, my tournament situation. Like, it depends on everything. So I completely get my opponents who are confused, because I'm also confused. No, that my previous round one, I lost. This one is, I'm keeping the suspense for now. Although I guess it's not suspenseful. So, the two main setups are either e6 or bishop here. I play bishop e3, which is like usually a normal move. And in these Alapin situations, I guess I was expecting either this or this, but he took right away. It's not a bad line by any means, it's a pretty good line, but it's just not, I would say, not one of the two main setups. So now, in such cases, you definitely take back with the c-pawn, and I do get an isolated queen pawn in this game, and that's kind of one of the main positions to know as an Alapin player, is how to play with the IQP. And for Sicilian players, you need to know how to play against the IQP. So this frees up the place for the knight, so that's exactly where my knight goes on the next turn. Queen goes to a5, and in general, I mean, I guess we can talk about this a bit too. With the isolated queen pawn, if we wanna try to make this instructional, if there happen to be some people who haven't watched my chess-based lessons on how to play with and against an isolated queen pawn, which I think I have even 2 editions on that. What are some plans for white and what are some plans for black? Thank you, Alpoka. Thank you, thank you. Yeah. Don't hang the pawn is white's plan? Ideally, yeah. Ideally, you don't want to hang that pawn, that's true. But that's not kind of what I'm going for. I'm going for something more... I'm not a new content creator. I know how to advertise my courses. It's not a course. It's just YouTube. It's free YouTube lessons. So yeah. Checkmate black is white's plan. That's a good one. Blockade, attack, destroy, also a good one. Hydrate. Redeemed. Okay, yeah, so these are all good ideas. Just to give like a brief overview, I guess, of these positions, is that white is more on the attacking side and has more space when you have an isolated queen pawn like that. And what you try to do is play in the center and play against the king. So oftentimes you'll play against this pawn, sometimes you'll put the knight on e5 and play against this pawn. There's a lot of plans there, but basically you put your pieces in the center and sometimes you try to break through with an effective d5. Not always, but if it works, usually d5 might be a good pawn break if all of your pieces are prepared for it. But you play more attacking chess with white. With black, however, you play more blockading style, so you would oftentimes put the knight onto d5. That's usually the best piece for the blockade, and you would try to exchange the minor pieces. So exchanging these types of pieces is good, and keeping the pieces like rooks and queens so that you can attack this pawn in the ending. So this pawn can be a strength in the middle game because it attacks some key squares and it gains space, but in the end game it might be a weakness sometimes because you can triple your major pieces and sometimes win that pawn. So that's kind of an overview of these positions. Take care, YouTube PMD. So that is kind of what to know about isolated queen pawn, but it's obviously going to be situation dependent. So here I played bishop to e2, which I don't think is theory. Maybe it's more theoretical to go with a bishop to c4 or to d3, but I thought this was a good place for the bishop, and honestly, one thing I was surprised with myself in this game is just how quickly I played. I played the next couple of moves in the middle game so quickly, just because usually in these isolated queen pawn positions, white's play is easy. It's black who has to be slightly more careful, but I honestly, my whole life, I've thought that I've liked to play against the isolated queen pawn. I liked that slow, trying to win that pawn, pressuring it. But in all honesty, having played this game, I'm like, it's so much easier to play with the IQP, and I honestly loved it, because I just didn't have to think. I just make developing moves and it's my opponent who has to think. So, yeah. Anyways, I played bishop here, he developed as well. I honestly thought he might go for something like this to try to attack it, but I was considering to sacrifice this pawn. I don't know if I would have done this exactly, but these positions can be fun as well. Just you know, just some attacking ideas, kind of double-edged. But there's also options to not do that, so it's also possible to defend it with the queen b3 or queen c2, and maybe I would have more likely played queen to b3, to be honest. So yeah, that was kind of the plan against that. But he played bishop to e7. With the IQP is better. Yeah, I guess I think it's easier. I think it's easier. Obviously there's plenty of examples of really effective play against the IQP, and sometimes you just play against the positional genius and your attack doesn't work and then his attack works. But yeah, but these positions are really nice to know because they come from so many openings. So it's honestly, knowing from both sides is really useful because sometimes you'll be on the other side of it as well. So here I castled, he castled. I played a3, so this is a very typical move. First of all, I'm not allowing the knight to go to b4 and to d5 and to blockade that way. And another reason is just that maybe I want to play b4 in the future. He plays a6, and I'm honestly shocked at myself. In this position, I wasn't really thinking too much. I just played b4, looks good, takes more space, and he kind of has to think more about where to move his queen. So he moved it to c7, and at this point I can already start maybe thinking about some d5 ideas, not right away, but in general, some d5 plans could work, some b5 plans could work, but usually I would say I like building up that tension. I mean, we saw that from some of the games, is that you can keep these threats, but I really wanted to get the rooks into the game first. So here I played queen b3, one rook joins on c1, and this will become pretty annoying for black, that maybe there's some tactics going on the c-file, so it did become annoying to the point where he actually moved away the queen. I was expecting something more along the lines of bishop d7, but even this, it's sort of like black's pieces feel a bit pushed back. Nothing is wrong with their position, it's only plus 0.3, but it just feels like black's pieces are not threatening much, and my pieces have much easier development. So he plays queen d6. I was already a bit sus about this move. I played rook to d1, also very natural. And he played h6. I think this next move that I played deserves a pause. What would you play here for white? I was not sure about it when I was playing it, but I'm actually it was honestly really good understanding. I didn't think it was that good, but it honestly was. So what would you play for white? Yeah, rook c1 was good. Like, in these positions, a couple of moves are roughly equivalent, so. Knight e5, knight a5, I assume you mean? Okay, these are nice ideas as well. So coming in with a knight here looks pretty good. Knight e5, I'm not sure it works just yet, but it's a very common idea in these structures. I don't think that many people would guess my move. It doesn't look too natural, but it's actually the best move. And it's not knight a4. Muck is alive, thank you for the follow. Actually guys, we are so close to 7,900. We are so close. Like 7 away. Pushing the pawn. Hello, Muck is alive. d5 and bishop c5. Yeah, so those ideas are always definitely worth to look at. Woody, thank you for the follow. Thank you for contributing to the goal. Thank you, thank you. Okay. d5, and this doesn't work out just yet because black is just not in trouble or anything. Knight a4, it's okay. Knight d5, I mean, black is going to continue their blockade a little bit. Funny how nobody's guessing my move. It's not h3 either. It is not h4. Okay, should I reveal it? It is the best move in the position, but it's not the most natural. Okay, knight d2 is actually valid, and this would be a really nice plan, except d4 is hanging. Okay. I don't think anybody's gonna guess it, to be honest. So the best move in the position is g3. Okay, why is this so weird? Okay, I agree, it looks really weird. Maybe I should honestly get examined for this move, but it made sense in my head. It actually has a very clear threat, and the threat is bishop f4. The threat is just bishop f4, and it's really good. How long did I think about G3? I don't remember, maybe like 10 minutes? Or maybe around 10 minutes. Thank you, Ken Collins, for the follow. Maybe a bit longer. Possible to have the eval bar on? Do you guys actually like the eval bar? I feel like it ruins the tactics. I feel like if you know something is winning or something is better, then it kind of ruins the tactic. Does it not? Do you guys prefer the eval bar? Maybe, yeah, maybe 10 to 15 minutes I thought about it. But I felt a bit off about it when I was playing it. But I liked it too much to not play it. Thank you, Guapdon1, for the follow. Guys, we're so close. I don't know how close we are now. 3 away, thank you. We're very close. So, I was really proud later that it was actually the best move. But it just has a very simple threat of bishop to f4. And it's pretty concerning for black because the queen is feeling super uncomfy. 95 threats are coming up later, so yeah. He decides to make some more space for his pieces by playing bishop f8, and I was already not a huge fan of this move. But in these positions, even though it might look good, you still need to kind of... yeah, this was alright. You still need to kind of break through in reality. So now the follow-up is actually not bishop here, because then queen to e7, and he's doing relatively fine. So that wasn't anything special. So I decided to go for a more forcing move, like knight to e5. So now there's some more threats. Now a big threat of this is truly not even to take and not even to do anything with this knight in the center, but to go to c4. So that's the big threat in the position. He played knight to e7, and already, like every single one of these moves, none of them is like a huge mistake, but they're like slightly bad, slightly worse, and like these little things build up the advantage for white. But to be honest, it was really hard to play. I'm not sure what I would have done for black, because some of his moves that he was playing, they were making sense to me, and I didn't know what really would have been too much better than that. So now, after this, like I said, my idea was to put the knight to c4. The queen goes to c3, and this was the key moment in the game, and I want everybody to focus and tell me what you would play for white. Treat this like a real training, and then I'll show you my real calculations during the game. And bishop f1 is kind of interesting. That's creative. Justify g3? We don't need to justify these things. They just happened. Is there a problem? There is no problem. We don't need to justify it. I do agree that looked weird, but I was really proud that it was actually the best move. I don't need to justify it. It was the best. It was actually objectively the best. That's the justification in itself. Pretty sure that move tilted him a little bit. At least I hate when the opponent makes a move that looks wrong positionally, but you cannot find any idea that works against it, and you're like, this must be wrong, but I don't see anything. I am upset that nobody's seeing the actual move. I can tell you guys didn't do your puzzle rush. I'm gonna be the puzzle rush police. This is the type of position where you kind of have to be fast, because trap queen, I mean, that's already on the right track, that you look at the queen's position and you understand that something is seriously wrong with that queen. But okay, to be honest, it took me a long time to actually calculate all of these, but I'm upset that nobody's finding the first move of it, at least. Okay, finally. Woody and Nerdy Nerd, you guys are right. It's d5, not bishop f3, but it's d5. Offer draw? Absolutely not. No draw offers. I genuinely don't remember the last time I've offered a draw in a classical game, or in any game for that matter. And it's not because of confidence or anything. It's just because when I play chess, I'm there to play, and when I'm playing in the tournament, I'm there to actually play a full game. So you're only gonna catch me making a draw with bare kings, or with like a threefold where there's no other option. Or fine, like to secure a match for the team, I'll do it. But other than that, bare kings, you just have to get me there for me to make a draw. But I don't overpush a position. I'm not gonna play some position that is very obviously a draw. So that one I would obviously agree, but until there's some life in the position, I will not. Plus, I think most of my opponents are like that too, so works out nicely. I think lately I've been playing a lot of people who are there to fight as well. Okay. So, I mean, that's the duality of chess, Bo. We feel you. Okay. So, d5 is the only winning move, and it's correct. But it definitely has some... I think a lot of people were suggesting b5 as well. Oops. But after takes... Or I guess you weren't suggesting this, they were suggesting this. I mean, this looks very good as well, but it's just not quite as good as the tactic. I'm telling you, this is... Because you look at this queen and there's something seriously wrong with it. And I spent so long, like probably like 20 minutes trying to figure out all of these lines, but I was very glad to have found something. So d5, I didn't do the analysis of this game with like the training thing, but I think I would give that an exclam. I liked it. And the idea is to open up the bishop and play some knight b6 ideas. So basically, thank you username for the follow. We're very close to, we're 2 followers away probably. Hey Devo. So basically, if the knight takes, then the knight takes back, and then whatever takes back, doesn't matter what, we play knight to b6. DMCRO, thank you for the follow as well. Are we 1 away or are we 2 away? I swear, don't unfollow me now to get it down. Thank you. We're hanging on. So this attacks the queen and the rook at the same time, so this is losing. And that's one of the lines to calculate in this d5 line. Hey, Devo, don't do this to me. But anyways, so taking with a knight is just not an option. Moving away the queen, well, also not really an option because knight b6 and black is just getting basically, I don't know, like suffocated on the last rank. Bamzor, thank you for the follow. Thank you. I think we made it. Did we make it? Hey! I'll find out who did that. We didn't make it. One more. So, moving the queen away either doesn't work. So he took here, and this is my next tactic for you guys. What do we play? Well, not really a tactic, but what's kind of the continuation of it? If the pawn takes. 22 Jumpy, thank you for the follow. I think we made it. Thank you guys for the 7,900. I appreciate it. We're close. Thank you, Drilling Machine, for the follow as well. Thank you. We made it. Hype. Thank you. At 8K, we're gonna do a long 8-hour stream. Maybe I don't know if, like, obviously, like, I won't expect when we will get there, but when we do, it's gonna be a nice, we'll do a nice stream. Bishop f3, no, it doesn't work because of queen c4. Oystein, thank you so much for the follow as well. So, knight b6 is correct. Knight b6. First, we attack this rook. Unfortunately, this is not a discovered attack just yet, but it's close. We don't hang the knight, it's still protected. But he plays d4. And this is where it gets kind of like... I calculated this as I was playing d5 as well, and that's where it got super complicated. So, should I just show you guys the lines? I guess I'll just show you guys the lines. So, on d4, there's a couple of things to consider. First of all, we need to consider the fact that this pawn cannot be taken because of this and this, so that's winning for black. And in case of knight to a8, that's more or less okay, but I was calculating this line with bishop to h3, and I'm like, actually, I hate this. I hate this whole thing. This is just not good. King cannot take because of some queen h1 threats that I don't want to deal with. And if the rook takes, then am I even better at this point? I don't think so. So this is what I calculated during the game. I guess you went... White will have only a rook for the two pieces, which is really not advantageous in such a situation. So bishop to d4 basically was eliminated right away. Rook takes d4 can also be eliminated right away because of queen to b6, and unfortunately that protects the rook and there's no good discovered attack with that rook. So d4 is like a very fighting move because there's a lot to calculate. Knight a8 is another possibility, which I calculated as well, and I came to the conclusion that bishop here, I move the queen somewhere, let's say queen to b1, and this should be okay, but what I played, I preferred that slightly more personally, and I was kind of afraid of grabbing the rook right away. And everything else is basically not that good. Knight here makes sense, but then black is kind of saving themselves a little bit with some initiative. So maybe something like that is honestly like really good initiative for black. Oh, it's not just initiative, it's actually just winning one of the pieces. So there was many things to be careful about. Knight c8? No, I want the rook, I don't want the bishop. I don't want the bishop. So instead, I won't make you guys find it, but I was honestly really happy with this move as well. It was knight c to d5. So the reason for this move is the discovered attack, and this was the best move as well, which I was surprised. Like I was honestly like surprised that all of these moves were actually objectively best too. And at least my calculations were confirmed. They are not confirmed in every game, but in this game they were confirmed. So rook is attacking the queen, and there's not too much to do. Basically, if they take, then this is winning. This is just too much material to give up for black. So he did what I thought he would do, just move away the queen to e6. And now, basically, my calculation is that I've removed one piece from the attack square. This piece is going to stay attacked, that's okay. This piece is getting attacked right now, so if I were to take here, then the position is still like good, but it's just kind of not what we want. We don't want it to be that complicated. So instead, I take on f6 first, and my threat is that if he takes like this, my queen is attacked right now, I will gladly take and play this ending, because now that pieces have been traded off, an extra exchange means much, much more than when the pieces are not. I lost my train of thought. An extra exchange means more when a lot of the pieces have been traded off, so this endgame would be totally winning. So instead, he takes with the queen, and this was all part of the plan too. I was happy that it went that way. Now I played knight takes a8, so currently white is up a full rook, but is going to lose one of the pieces. So he plays bishop to e6, and notice how, like, this position is different to the other one when the queen was still on c6 and attacking some stuff on g2. I deliberately wanted that queen gone from there so that there's no shenanigans on the light squares. So I moved the queen to take this pawn, and here's where he was already looking a bit depressed, because basically you cannot really take this bishop because of queen here. And honestly, oh, I saw a really cool line here actually. Wait, there was a really cool line, one sec. Takes. Maybe not here, a bit later, there was literally really interesting one. Oh, maybe, oh, it was d3. It was d3. It was a really cool line, because takes. Oh, actually no, it wasn't cool. I forget. It wasn't here, but something like that was kind of cool. It doesn't work here. It's just rook d8. But in some of the lines, this rook wasn't there, and it was looking kind of shady, but there was some defense. But I forgot it at this point. It doesn't matter. So queen to b2 is what happened. Thank you, Barata Toxica, for the follow. So cannot really take this bishop, so he takes this knight instead, and then I just ended up taking this pawn on d4, and it was pretty smooth sailing from here, even though I'm not the type of person to be like, yeah, up in exchange, I'm winning, I can blitz out. I was very careful on every single move, because you never know what can happen around my king, you never know how this knight can randomly activate, so I just tried to not let that happen, and put my bishop on that long diagonal, justifying my g3 move. He attacks here, and that was fairly annoying to deal with because I actually didn't want to do this. I knew this was probably good, but like, I don't know, I don't feel comfortable with him having two bishops. So we played this instead, and queen to c7, which I thought was really nice because it creates problems right away with black's pieces. Stream is me telling you you're washed at chess. I'm not, no, we're not. We're just having fun analyzing. Once a year, just play from one street. What? 1,000? Wait, a couple thousand games in a month? Damn, that's insane. But really cool, really good dedication there. So, anyways, I'm just trying to finish off this game because it was basically almost done. But there was one more nice moment. So now he plays rook e8, and I had a very, very nice idea. Here I planned one type of trap. So queen takes this bishop to e4, and I was really, really hoping that he would play queen to h5. Of course, a lot of things are winning here, and black's piece activity is not enough. Also, check out these. That's like the wildest like piece tower I've ever seen. I don't know what's going on this file. But anyways, queen h5 is what was played, and I was hoping he would play it, so find white's puzzle rush move now. Do I need a hug? Do I look like I need a hug? Do I seem sad or something? Yeah, he did miss queen e7, and it was unfortunate, but it works because of checkmate ideas. And GG. So he didn't go into that. He still played f5, but it didn't really matter. It's actually a pretty nice sort of defensive maneuver, but the game just ended after this. And he played on a bit, but I was up a piece and a bunch of pawns. So that's it. That was the end of the game. But I think some moments like g3 was really interesting, and then the d5 tactic was really interesting. So if I ever need to teach about isolated queen pawn again, I think that was like a really thematic pawn break with d5. This was game number 3. And I do think that I'm getting pretty tired, so it's been a long time since I started the stream, and I don't think I'll have time to go over game 4 and game 5. Game 4 was such a marathon. It was, yeah, I think bishop f8 was a bit weird, knight e7 was really weird, but I think it's because he was just so confused by g3 and like his queen was getting a little bit stuck. Queen d6 looked a bit odd too. I think the whole problem was just that the queen side didn't get developed, like there was no bishop d7 try or rook c8 try. But yeah. My game 4 was insane. I guess I'll show that to you guys next stream. And game 5 was pretty short, so I think next time we will actually have more than enough time to go over it. But this time, it's been 3 games, it was a lot of analysis, but I do think that it is time. And let me see who is live. Let's raid. There's Emily, there's Lafong, there's Kira. Wow, there's a lot of people are live right now. Okay, let's raid. Okay, so Gur, thank you so much for the 500 bits. I appreciate that.
Thank you for the review of your game.
Thank you, Gur. I also enjoyed the game reviews. Thank you for being here and for, you know, for supporting. Thank you, Towel is in space for the follow as well. Thank you all for the support and for the fun discussions today. It was really nice. Thank you, Tricky Knights, for the follow. It was a fun stream. Thank you, Trick. Well, I guess I've. Okay. I'm gonna try to be quick before the raid goes through. I'll maybe be live tomorrow, but it would be later. It would be at a later time because I do have something in the morning. So it would be maybe at around this time. Hopefully that works for some people. Maybe not the most European friendly, but maybe around this time I could be live tomorrow. If not, then I'll see you guys for Freestyle Friday on Friday. I'll announce it in my Discord. So it's been really nice to talk about this, and I sometimes hesitate to analyze my own games for on stream because I feel like it's not that interesting. Like, I could do so many more other things, but this was fun, and thank you for both participating and for supporting all throughout. So, see you guys either tomorrow or for Freestyle Friday, and have a good rest of your day, enjoy it, and good luck in everything. Hope everything goes well. Bye bye and thank you.